शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थः प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Chant Maheshwara Sutra. Om A I Un Rilik E Ong I Ouch Haya Varat Lan Nyama Gananam Jabhanya Ghadadash Jabagadash Kapha Chatha Chatatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani Om Tip Tas Ji Sip Tas Tha Mip Vas Mas Ta Atham Jha Thas Atham Dhvam It Vahi Mahing Om Sa O Aha O Aha A Bhyam Bihi E Bhyam Bhyaha Aha Bhyam Bhyaha Aha Oho Am I Oho Su O Aha. Okay. So namaste everyone, welcome. You know, it's been a little bit of time. Was at the Gurukulam, it went well, and now I'm back. So in Sanskrit class, we'll just do our sadhana bodhini, and maybe we can talk a little bit at the end whether we want to continue sadhana bodhini after the break in September, or however we feel. So we can talk about that as well. So we'll start our prayer. Om Namaskritya Gurum Bhaktya Brahmatmanandarupinam Sadhanasyopadeshtaram Purve Sadhana Bodhinim. Okay, so we were seeing in our last class, we were seeing this shloka number 8. Bhakti yogascha naitasmat binno tyantam hi vidyate karmeshwaranusandhana sadbhavat ubhayatrahi. So we're seeing the shloka So just looking at the translation. So now we talked about, previous to this, we saw the topic of karma yoga. Right? Now we're talking about bhakti yoga. So bhakti yoga, the pursuit of devotion, is not completely different from this karma yoga. Because in both karma yoga and bhakti yoga, action and the connection to the Lord are common factors. Right? So na vidyate bhakti yoga, na vidyate. Bhakti yoga is not binnaha, different. Atyantam binnaha is not very much different. Etasmat, from this karma yoga. Ubhayatra, both. So both have the karmeshwara anusandhana sadbhava. There's the presence of the connection, anusandhana, of the connection to Ishvara, and there is the presence of karma in both. So there's the presence of karma in both karma yoga and bhakti yoga. There's also connecting to Ishvara. So both have those two common factors. Not just any karma, but karma in which you're connecting to Ishvara. Okay. So let's leave shloka number 9, which we haven't seen yet. So you can repeat after me. Vishishtani tu karmani, Vishishtani tu karmani, Samalocha visheshyate. Sorry, vishesh. So you can Samalocha visheshyate, Samalocha visheshyate, Bhakti yoga iti pragnaihi, Bhakti yoga iti pragnaihi, Abhidhanam cha dhiyate, Abhidhanam cha dhiyate. So let's look at the translation first. But taking into consideration some specific actions, this is distinguished and given the name Bhakti Yoga by the wise. So even just looking at that translation, we can get an understanding of what we're talking about. So before it said that Bhakti Yoga is not different than Karma Yoga, right? Because they have both karma and they have connection to Ishvara. So it's not different. With that said, there is some specific karma, some specific actions which are separated and given the name Bhakti Yoga. So how, just to quickly explain it, right? It's like Karma Yoga is this big, all these actions which are connecting to Ishvara. Within that circle, there's some specific actions which we call Bhakti Yoga, right? So it's not that it's different, but it's a subset of actions in which I'm connecting to Bhagavan. Karma Yoga is every action I'm connecting to Bhagavan, but Bhakti Yoga, there's some specific actions which we call Bhakti Yoga. Right? Okay. So now let's look at the words here. So this first sentence. Vishishtani tu karmani samalocha visheshyate. I added the word etat. See? So we can catch a verb here, right? We want to catch a verb. Yeah, we say that at the end, visheshyate, right? Visheshyate. So visheshyate is the verb in the sentence. This visheshyate. Now we have something else though that we need to pay attention to. We have something in the sentence that we also need to pay attention to. And that is samalochya. Samalochya. Okay, this is technically not a verb, but it's verb-like. This is, I don't know if you remember, but we saw twa and liep. Twa and liep. Okay, so twa. So if I have, so for example, if we see the word uktwa, having said something, right? Having said. Now, sometimes instead of twa, instead of adding TVA, I add just a yakara. I add ya at the end rather. How do I know when I add ya, it's because there is a upasarga to the dhatu. If there's an upasarga with the dhatu, then instead of twa, this yakara will come. So liep, finally you get the ya. Not just yakara, it's ya, wa, ya, and akara. So here we have samalochya. Samalochya. So I looked up loch for us so that we don't have to do it. But if you look at the dhatu kosha, and if you look up loch, right? Because we're taking out the ya because that's from liep. And then we see this loch. Loch is 1A to C. Loch. Okay. But now we see some other things. We see sama. Sama would be some plus a plus loch. Some a loch. So some purvaka, a purvaka, loch, and then we can say we have twa, but it becomes liep because we have it becomes liep because we have, originally we had twa, and then it becomes liep because with the upasarga, it gets replaced. So it becomes samalochya. So if we literally translate samalochya, it would be seeing clearly. Sama means clearly, it gives a sense of clearly. Now, how they translated it to meet the sentence is considering, right? Taking into consideration. And that's the same, right? If you see something clearly, you're considering it, you're taking into consideration. So consideration, but it's a lep sense of having taken into consideration, right? Like uktwa is having said, gatwa is having gone. Here we have samalochya, having seen clearly or having taken this thing into consideration. Right? In the sentence reads more clearly when so the sense of the speaker, the author, wanted that specific connotation of considering, right? So that's why they translated it like this. Okay, so having considered what? Having considered what? What are we considering? So now we have this. So let's look at this first before we look at the verb. So by the way, when we have twa or liep, that is avyaya. That's avyaya. Big zero. Okay. Now so we don't have a we don't have a karta of considering. We can say sadhaka. Sadhaka, having considered what? Kim samalochya or kani samalochya? We see two words. We see vishishtani and karmani. Yeah, karmani. Okay, so let's start with karmani. So karmani. So this is what's the pratipadika? It is karma. Nope, it's karman. Okay. So what karma, this word, actually, let's just double check that. Karma. Let me just pull it up in the dictionary here. Yeah, napumsakalinga. Okay, no, it's just karma. It's just karma. It's just napumsakalinga, karma shabda, napumsakalinga. And so this is just like jnanam. Jnana. So akaranta napumsakalinga, right? So one is karmam, like jnanam. Okay. So it is just karma. So I'm glad we just checked that quickly. So karmani is just like, so if we have, let's do jnanam, right? Jnanam, jnane, jnanani. Jnanam, jnane, jnanani. Jnanena, jnanabhyam. Huh? Yeah. So we already got so it's not, so it's jnanaihi. That's why I was just making sure you're saying it just like ramaihi. Okay, that third case onwards it goes the same. I can also show you what I just pulled up, but this karma, so we saw karmani can be 1-3 or 2-3, like jnanani or palani. Right? So, but we're talking about, is the karma considering? Is the karma the karta of considering? No, right? The karma can't consider something. So it doesn't make sense to put 1-3. So we would take 2-3, right? The sadhaka having considered what? Karma. Karmas, it's plural, right? Actions. So this is karma, akaranta napumsakalinga, ditya vibhakti, bahuvachanam, karmani ditya to samalochya. So notice how it's to samalochya. Visheshate hasn't even come in yet. So having considered karmas. Someone asked in the chat, can samalochya be good vision or the same vision? No, so here we're talking about loch is to see, right? So we wouldn't, so it's not sama like samanam, the same vision. This is sam purvaka a loch. So this is to see something, the sama gives the very well sense. So we can't really say it as good vision or the same vision. Okay, but having seen the karmas, right, or having considered the karmas, what kind of karmas? Vishishtani karmani. Vishishtani karmani. Vishishtani karmani. Vishishtani means specific karma. Specific karma. So this is Vishishta Akaranta Napumsakalinga. Just like what we just saw with karma. Akaranta Napumsakalinga. Dutiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Karmani Dutiya to Samalocha. Or we can say it's Samanadikaranam with Karmani. Right? Visheshya, Visheshana. This is adjective and substantive, right? It's the adjective to the karma. It's specific actions. Okay, so having considered these specific actions. Okay, we also missed this word tu. Tu, we don't want to start off the sentence with tu, so it won't come first, but really it's saying tu. Tu, can you tell me which finger, what case is tu? Yeah, 0. 0. Yeah, this is avyaya word. It means however, or on the other hand, or but. So it means different topic, right? Or it's different than what was said before. Not different topic, but different than what was said before, right? Before it was said it's the same, but, or however, having considered specific karmas. Oh, okay, now something is different, right? Now we're considering specific karmas. Having considered specific karmas, etat visheshyate. Visheshyate. Okay, let's look at visheshyate. At first, when I was looking at this, I was like, okay, what is vish dhatu? But that's not right? Because then I still have the shesh left, that ish. So let me show you what I found. Visheshyate. It's actually V shish. V shish becomes visheshyate. V shish, and then you get guna, becomes vishesh. This is at the end. So you can look up shish dhatu, but if you go to the end of the dhatu kosha, you get this with upasarga. You can see with the upasarga. So vishesh. This is 7p. 7p. Vishesh. And here's some meanings. Qualify something, particularize, define, distinguish, discriminate. Here we're really using this word distinguish. Distinguish. Okay? Or separating. So visheshyate, it means it is distinguished or distinguished. Okay? So we saw V, shish, this is 7p, meaning to distinguish. Lat lakaraha. Now, kartari or karmani? Do we have yakara? Yes. Do we have atmanepada? Yes, because it's 7p, right? It's 7p. If it's 7p, then you won't get atmanepada unless it's karmani prayoga, right? So this is karmani prayoga. Pratama purushaha, third person, singular. Right? Okay, so V shish 7p let karmani, third one. Sorry, my handwriting. Trying to get it all in. Okay. Having considered specific karmas, something is distinguished. Now, what is distinguished is actually not told. One way we can see it like this, one way we can see it is that the specific karmas are distinguished, right? So having considered the specific karmas, those specific karmas are then distinguished. We can take it like that, right? So then these would be karmani ditya to samalocha and karmani ditya to visheshata. Okay, that's one way of seeing it. Without this etat, you don't need to supply etat then. Right? Having considered these specific karmas are distinguished. You see, what same words can be karma for two different things. Or we can say etat. This. What is this? We were talking about bhakti yoga. Etat visheshata. This bhakti yoga is distinguished. Having considered specific actions, this bhakti yoga is distinguished. Yeah? We're okay? Heads? Okay. Heads nodding. Sometimes you do the Indian thing. I don't know if you're saying yes or no. Confused. Okay. So etat. So this is etat shabda. But now we're dutiya. Sorry, this is a prathama vibhakti ekavachanam because it's karmani prathama to visheshyate. Karmani prathama. Now I'm thinking about this. Really, we can put because bhakti yoga is masculine, we can put eshaha. Eshaha visheshyate. Eshaha is masculine. Etat shabda punlinga is eshaha. One would be eshaha. So really, I should put eshaha supply there. So let's correct that. Sorry. Esha, sorry, it's not very. Okay. So eshaha visheshyate. So this is. What is the difference? There's a question in the chat. What is the difference between vishishyate and visheshyate? Vishishyate. So can we get the vishishyate, visheshyate? I'm doubting whether we can get the form visheshyate. Because when you add that lat lakara, you should get guna. So it should become visheshyate. But if you find an example where it's not like that, but notice how vishishtani clearly comes from the same dhatu, right? Same vishish and then vishesh. They both come from the same thing. One's a noun. Okay. So having considered specific karmas, this bhakti yoga is distinguished. Vishishta is akaranta nupumsakalinga. It is a subanta. Vishishta is a pratipadika. Vishishtani is the subanta. Do they mean the same? Well, no, one is a verb and one is a noun, right? So one is having distinguished. And vishishtani, yeah, if you literally translate, it means the distinguished things. Right? And if you say that, now, something which is distinguished is specific. If you think about, if one person is distinguished from the other, that's a specific type of person. But more so, that's the derivation, how we get to the word. But literally, if we just translate, it would just mean specific, right? If you look in the dictionary, you'll see specific. Yeah, Nilima, do you want to ask a question? Yeah, please go ahead.
My question was, does vishishyate and visheshyate mean the same?
Well, what I'm saying is I'm doubting that if vishishyate is even possible. As a
Vishishyate. I thought there are some.
It sounds familiar, but we have to just check that.
I will check in some of the shlokas and then I'll email it. And if I find something like that.
Yeah, that would be great, because then I can look into it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 5 minutes, so let's look at the second line. Bhakti yoga iti cha abhidhanam pragnaihi diyate. So we see the verb here. Diyate. Diyate. Diyate also took me a little bit of time. I was like, what is di dhatu? Di dhatu. But it comes from da dhatu. Da dhatu is a bit funny. I put the forms here. Da dhatu is a bit funny. Da is 1p to give. But it just has its own style. One, like if you look even in Kartari Prayoga, dadhati, right, is 1-1. Dadati is first one. Dadataha, dadanti, dadasi. It's just totally different. Like the derivation is not usual, or the conjugation is not usual. If you look in Karmani Prayoga, you see this Prathama singular diyate. Diyate. So this is Karmani Prayoga. Karmani Prayoga, third one is diyate. Okay. So in the book one, they have common verbs which are irregular. There's a section that it's there, and then da dhatu is given there too. So diyate. So diyate is da dhatu, 1p to give. So, but it's lat lakara karmani prayoga prathama purusha ekavachana. So this means something is given. Given. What is given? Well, first, yeah. So now we need a first case, right? What is given? After you find the verb, you need a first case. First case is abhidhanam. Okay, abhidhanam. Abhidhanam. Abhidhanam is abhidhana akaranta napumsakalinga prathama purusha ekavachanam. This is karmani prathama, right? To diyate, because it's karmani prayoga. What does abhidhana mean? It means a name. The name is given. A name is given. Pragnaihi. So this is pragna akaranta pullinga, meaning wise people, or this wise people. Tritiya vibhakti bahuvachanam. What kind of tritiya? Or in karmani prayoga. In karmani prayoga, the third case can be kartari tritiya. Right? You can tell the karta, the doer, in the third case. Right? So pragnehi. So this is actually third three, kartari tritiya. So by the wise. A name is given by the wise. What is the name? Bhakti yogaha iti. Okay. So the name, so a name is given by the wise, and it is Bhakti Yoga. Yeah, we're feeling good. So let's look at the sentence as a whole. Vishishtani tu karmani samalochya, having considered specific actions, etat bhakti yoga, or sorry, eshaha bhakti yoga, this bhakti yoga is distinguished. So, and now that's distinguished, this distinguished thing is pragnaihi abhidanam diyate. It's given a name by the wise. What is that name? Bhakti yoga. It's given the name Bhakti Yoga by the wise. Let's just chant this. Vishishtani tu karmani Vishishtani tu karmani samalocha visheshate. Having considered specific actions, this thing is distinguished. Bhakti Yoga iti pragnaihi abhidanam cha diyate. This name Bhakti Yoga is given by the wise. Right? Okay. This is Tadatmananda style. Okay, we'll give up. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.